This is MacBook Neo.
This isn't a video I thought I was going to make. Okay, so I don't really talk about Apple stuff that much. I stay informed because it's a big tech company, and usually when these big tech companies release a product or service, it usually affects like the whole ecosystem of everything. So if you read the title, saw the thumbnail, yes, talk about the new MacBook Neo. And I've known about this laptop. Well, I've kept up with the rumors, and I believe this has been rumored for over a year now at this point. So this was rumored to be the Chromebook killer. Now, over the years, Apple has wanted the iPad to compete with the Chromebook. And this is usually in the educational market. Right now, if you go to any modern school, all the way up to high school, grade to high school, actually, I don't know when they get Chromebooks, middle school and up, something that Apple has wanted for a while. And yeah, Chromebooks over the iPads, and there's nothing wrong with the iPads. In my opinion, it could compete form factor wise, because the people who are buying the Chromebooks, the schools making decisions, they wanted a computer, something you could type. And to get those accessories with the iPad usually involve, making the iPad more expensive than the Chromebook. So they really couldn't compete on price. And they're cheap, so they'll break. So it's just saying that there was a reason why the educational system chose Chromebooks over the iPad. And the headline is, it is starting at $599. So that price was rumored. I didn't believe it, and a whole lot of us didn't believe it, that Apple will go that low. And I believe for the educational market, I believe it is, I've heard $499. From what I can tell, looks amazing. Actually, and again, I'm not an Apple fan at all, but if I'm looking at it just objectively speaking, $599 for a Mac is pretty solid. Like this channel is really more focused upon ChromeOS devices and lately some Linux, and I still would say among the Chromebooks that I have tested, that I own, if someone said what is objectively the best laptop you can get, bang for your buck, I would always say the MacBook Air. The price was just like $1,000, or actually kind of lower, maybe $899, and that's not even talking about the refurbished market. Good decision letting it come in different colors. And I believe the keyboards are color coordinated to the Mac. There are two spec options. $599 is where it starts, and I'm looking at so 256 gigs is the base model, and it goes up to 512. Okay, so I saw it had Touch ID, and it might. So if I'm reading this correctly, the Touch ID is for the 512 model, so it may not be for the base option, but still. Now this is coming. Then, unlike the other MacBooks, this does not have an M chip in it, but I believe A18 chip. So that was one of the leaks and rumors that turns out to be true. And they're saying it's got 16 hours of battery, and that'll be good as the MacBook Airs or Pros, 13-inch Liquid Retina. And of course, they added the AI integration. And they're kind of bragging. And of course, this can go right along with your iPhone. But I believe that's with any Mac. But the demographic that this is aiming for, which is young people, youth, the people who want the cheapest Mac, but it's still a Mac. This is going to go well. Touch ID again. Okay, confirmed. It is only on the 512 gigabytes, and I believe the 512 is about $100 more. So it only comes in two configurations, 256 and the 512. 2.7 pounds, so it weighs about the same as a MacBook Air, and has a 1080p camera, dual speakers, has a headphone jack, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 6, USB 3, USB-C ports. Does Google have something to worry about? I think so. I don't think Google's going to be pushed out of the education market because there's a Chromebook for every price point. Now, where this is hitting at $499, I gotta say that is hovering around mid-tier to premium-ish Chromebooks. Like, as I went through some of the specs and the features, it reminded me a lot of my Lenovo. Now, to be fair, my Lenovo does have 8 gigabytes more RAM, so I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. My camera's better, so it's not like I have backlit keyboard unlike the MacBook Neo. That's not going to matter too much. Like, I'm thinking of my little sister, who, when she graduated high school, she asked for a laptop, and I could choose which one. She would have gotten a Mac because she's very Apple heavy, and we've already given her an iPhone, and I gave her an iPad, and I gave her the accessories to the iPad. It was beautiful. It was like this pink color. I gave her a keyboard with it. I gave her like the Apple Pencil and all that. iPad Air even. And but she didn't like using that like with the keyboard or like using it for actual work. She said it felt wrong. And she just wanted a computer that had a touchscreen. I believe the new MacBook Pros are going to have touchscreen. That is the only, I will say, somewhat Achilles heel of this device. Right now, I do believe this, as it is right now, I do believe it does threaten Chromebook's dominance at that price point, but it does have touchscreen. They're reserving that for the higher end model. So, and I think most Chromebooks have touch the screen. Now, is that going to be a deal killer for most people? I don't think so. So schools may pick this up, and they use Google Classroom, but you don't need a Chromebook in order to use Google Classroom. It just might be easier for a Chromebook, but I believe you could do that here. So this might be something they reserve for the older students, because as I was looking up, what's the price of Chromebooks, and it ranges from a few $100 to like 700, maybe to 1,000, but that's not going to be what most schools are going to purchase. So I say they might give these to high school seniors, or in that range. At the same time, I don't think they like change. This most definitely probably be better quality, but and they'll get a deal on it by in bulk. But at the same time, companies are hesitant to change. I think why I do think this could be like a threat to Chromebooks, and I do want Google to take that seriously, because they have their own products that they are dropping later on. I'm calling them Android Chromebooks with the Aluminium OS, with the Snapdragon chips. I want them to take seriously, like, hey, this is what you're going to get. And I'm glad this is the Chromebook competitor, and I'm glad because Google has also thought that they're in competition with the iPad. They even said that Chromebooks are meant to go against the iPad. The iPad is done. Apple's moved on. You're going against the MacBook Neo, which I always thought, like, form factor wise, Chromebooks go against MacBooks. Even if the MacBook wins, form factor wise, that is who you're going at, because this is Apple's answer to the Chromebooks. I'm so surprised that they brought the price down that low, and the different colors of it make it even more compelling. So I hope Google take that seriously, and whatever they have planned, I hope they up it. This looks like a good first computer. There's no point in like me speculating too much more until this thing comes out and they're out in the ecosystem. So yeah, this is going to change some things. All right, so that's all I got for you today. I'll see you next time. Summons Pro. If you like this kind of content, again, I don't talk about Apple that much. They make rare appearances. But anyway, consider liking the video, subscribing, leaving a comment. What do you guys think? Is this going to be a true contender? All right, see you next time.